America's favorite jackpot game. This is Powerball. Good evening, America. I'm Laura Johnson. Tonight we have another life-changing jackpot for you. It's worth an estimated $680.8 million. So get those tickets out. Let's play. That first number up is 34, followed by the number 58. Tonight we're going to meet Anthony Culligan, who won $2 million playing Powerball. Congratulations, Anthony. Now for the rest of those numbers, we've got 24, the number 2, rounding it out with 53. Your Powerball number tonight, good luck everyone, is 13, and your Power Play multiplier is 2. Let's take a look at those numbers one last time. Remember, there's multiple ways to win. We'll see you back here Wednesday night. Good night, everyone.
From the station that's on your side, this is News 12, NBC 26 at 11.
Lots of rain falling over a short amount of time with more than 2 inches on the ground in some spots. Riley's here to tell us about a hot, sunny week ahead.
Plus, a first-of-its-kind park coming to downtown Thompson. We have a first look at the plans and what's to come.
But first, from Project Pascalis to the Street Space Project, people in Aiken say transparency from city leaders has been a concern for years.
Neighbors in Aiken are still stumped after a lot of mature trees were cut down by accident at the historic Aiken Farmers Market as part of the Williamsburg Street Project. They're calling for the city council to pause the project. Our Taylor Martin was at the city council meeting to hear what both leaders and neighbors had to say.
Well, at the start of tonight's city council meeting, the city manager announced the project has been put on hold, and some people feel their voices are finally being heard.
Please, it's great news, isn't it?
For Lisa Smith, it's a step in the right direction after months, even years of attending city council meetings, asking city leaders to do one thing: listen.
I think they're trying. I think the city is trying to reach out. I think they're feeling the pressure of a united community.
And for all projects like the one at the farmers market on Williamsburg Street, people tell me they want one thing: to be informed and have a say.
You've got to fix the process so that things of this kind of nature go through a full review involving public input.
City Manager Stuart Biedenbow says that's exactly what's going to happen, at least for this project. Before anything else is done to the area surrounding the farmers market, he says plans will go through the design review board and will then be presented to the public for their input. It's great news for Lisa, but a few questions remain.
How will they weigh our opinions and our thoughts? I wonder. It's great that they're open to hearing us, but will it make a difference?
There's no news on when the public meeting will be, but the city manager says it's a priority moving forward. And the city manager also says the trees cut down at the farmers market will be replaced with large canopy trees in the fall.
I know a lot of people will be glad to see some of those trees replanted.
Yeah, that was a disaster when they all came down and surprised a lot of people. Taylor, thanks very much. To Weather Now is give you a live look outside from our camera over by Walton.
Should be a nice day tomorrow. Most of our high temps should be just a couple degrees below average. Not much rain tomorrow. That should continue Wednesday, but we'll have a look at some higher rain chances late in the week in just about 10 minutes.
A man is in jail tonight after police say he attacked his father with a knife. It happened around 12:30 this afternoon when Grovetown police were called to a home on Newmanton Road. Police found the man suffering from deep cuts to his right hand. The victim told police he and his son got into an argument and his son stabbed him with a pocket knife. Leonard Miller has been charged with aggravated assault.
Tonight, a Richmond County deputy is recovering in the hospital after being shot. The suspect died in a shootout after deputies were called to Ellis Street in reference to a man with a gun. The GBI says while deputies were trying to speak with the homeless suspect to get him to surrender, shots were fired. Deputy Kenneth Mercer was shot. He's in the hospital recovering. And since the story broke, support and prayers have been flooding in for Deputy Mercer.
In North Carolina, a Cleveland County deputy recovering after being assaulted just checking out an abandoned car this morning. The sheriff's office says the deputy was walking up to the car when a man came up from behind him and started hitting him with a piece of rebar.
Unprovoked, vicious assault where this sheriff's deputy was en route to work today. Exited his vehicle and was brutally attacked and assaulted and is still in the hospital. And it is our desire to have this individual in custody and off the streets.
No doubt about that. The sheriff says they're searching for the suspect who has tattoos on his arms and a possible skull tattoo on his neck.
The procession and funeral for a Crisp County deputy who died after being shot during a traffic stop was a little earlier today. As you can see, hundreds of agencies all across the state came in support, and many described Tyee Brown as heroic.
Was a hero, without a doubt. And I know the Sheriff's Department and all the surrounding counties that have shown up is so much appreciated because Deputy Brown was a true hero.
People in the community also say this tragedy has brought them even closer together.
One man dead after a shooting outside Grovetown over the weekend. The Richmond County coroner says the shooting happened at a home on Derby Lane Saturday. That victim is 35-year-old Alan White. The coroner says White was shot at least once and died there at the scene.
A person is in jail. Cleanup underway after someone crashed a stolen military vehicle into the headquarters at Fort Stewart this morning. This is some video. You can see crews working to clear the damage, remove that broken glass, fix some down cables right near the doorway. Thankfully, no one was hurt, and the driver was arrested at the scene. The U.S. Army's Criminal Investigation Division says the person arrested does have prior military experience, but is not currently an active duty member.
Attorneys for the Parkers Corporation have filed a new motion, a couple of them, in the Mallory Beach wrongful death lawsuit. Mallory was killed back in 2019 in a boat crash that was driven by Alec Murdaugh's youngest son, Paul. One of the motions is a request to change the location of the trial. And attorneys filed another one asking the judge to try the corporation and Alec Murdaugh separately.
Here at home, Atlanta area housing organizations and people who live here are joining forces for a town hall meeting on rent control. Organizers are fighting to repeal the state's decades-old ruling that makes it illegal for local communities to put any sort of regulation on how much landlords can increase your rent. Renters say the ban is really taking a toll on them.
There is no limitation on how much landlords can jack up the rent month to month, year to year, lease to lease. They can go up as high as they like to, and there's no restrictions on that. And that has to be stopped because people in Georgia are hurting.
In 2022, the average cost of rent for a one-bedroom apartment increased by more than 9%, reaching nearly $2,000 for the average. Organizers say their goal is to put a stop to rising rent to prevent homelessness and mass evictions.
The owner of Stay Social, a former restaurant in Columbia County, back in a courtroom today. She's fighting a decision that took away her alcohol license. Back in October, Columbia County commissioners voted to revoke her license in a 4-1 vote. After today's hearing, Stay Social's owner tells us she hopes to start fresh, but the county's decision means she's not able to hold an alcohol license in Georgia for the next 10 years.
Tomorrow, the Columbia County Board of Education will hold a public hearing on the increase of property taxes. This comes after the Board of Education decided to adopt a millage rate that would require property taxes to go up. The hearing's open to the public. It starts at 5:30.
We're getting a first look at what a new park will look like in Thompson.
It's going right next to the government complex on Railroad Street. Jada Walker shows us what's next for the first of its kind project for the county.
The new park being developed in the heart of downtown, completed with a splash pad for the kids and a shade for the parents.
Will be a shining diamond in our community and help spur some of the regrowth, redevelopment.
Jim Wallace has lived in McDuffie County for more than 40 years, and he believes this park will not only be a plus for young families, but for everyone to enjoy.
Young, middle-aged, and as I like to call it, seasoned people.
We'll have a 1-mile track around it and an amphitheater for music, but Jim is most excited about the splash pad.
Dads and grandchildren go together naturally.
Jason says this started as an idea to give families a place to get together and gather.
The humans like to be around each other, and we thrive when we're with others.
Jim believes this park will also make their small town more appealing.
Makes McDuffie County and Thompson more attractive.
And they're hoping this project will be up and ready for you to use in the next 18 months, and we'll keep you posted.
To weather now, millions across the country dealing with severe weather right now, from flooding to extreme heat. We're going to have that story and more when News 12 at 11 continues.
And we're looking at
Also tonight, a packed house in Augusta to talk about homelessness. The Richmond County Sheriff's Office held a town hall meeting this evening, just giving business owners a chance to come out and speak out about the growing homeless population.
Some of the issues bubbled to the surface after a homeless man shot a deputy in the line of duty. That deputy's in the hospital, and the suspect died on the scene. It happened near downtown over the weekend.
An update on that deputy coming up in just a moment, but tonight the focus is on these businesses you see right behind us. This is the corridor on Washington Road off I-20. We're talking about places like Dunkin', Krispy Kreme, Starbucks, Waffle House, right along a busy section.
As Nick Veland reports, a lot of homeowners showed up too to share their concerns.
Well, the sheriff's office has a plan, and it starts with the businesses behind me on Washington Road. If the businesses sign off, it'll allow the sheriff's office to patrol their private property, and if the homeless become a problem, they'll be able to cite them. Do you feel like this is the solution to the problem?
I feel like this is a good start because right now we're spinning our wheels, not just here in Richmond County, but throughout the country. We're spinning our wheels because no one has a solid solution to the homeless problem.
Finding the solution is why those in the community fill the stands and seats to learn more about Richmond County officers soon being able to go on a private property along Washington Road to dismantle homeless populations.
I'm a little torn. I do think we're past time for a partnership between the citizens and the sheriff in Augusta, Richmond County. I'm interested to see what will come of it.
If a business agrees, they sign paperwork, letting officers onto their property if they see something.
I think I encourage business owners to sign up, and I encourage business owners to hold the sheriff accountable to what he's agreed to do.
Not arresting those who are homeless, but looking to get them resources.
So we're not trying to criminalize people for being poor or having mental health issues. But again, we have to protect property owners and people and citizens in Richmond County. So that's a duality role that we have in the sheriff's office.
But Mobley says that the homelessness in this area is bringing a spike in crime, which impacts more than just business owners.
And the majority of these folks they're committing crimes. It's not just about business owners partnering with him. It's about getting out and doing what needs to be done in the public spaces in the community, and that's not being done.
The sheriff's office say that they will look to see how many businesses have signed off by the end of this week and look to start this as early as Monday. In Augusta, Nick Veland on your side.
And if you're a business owner and you missed tonight's meeting, you can head over to the Richmond County Sheriff's Office website to fill out a form. But you could see on the spot, people were signing those forms as fast as they could get
You
to
can see a lot of paperwork being done tonight, and you can do the same, as Laura mentioned, right there online. To weather now, and a look at Riverwatch Parkway at I-20.
Just about 10 minutes.
Richmond County Deputy Kenneth Mercer on the road to recovery tonight after being shot in the line of duty over the weekend. And now friends and former colleagues are coming forward to send well wishes his way.
Meet some people that are above and beyond. He was doing his job, I was doing mine. And Deputy Mercer was just one of the nicest people you ever meet. There are a few icons left on the sheriff's department, and he's definitely, he's one of.
He's going to be one of them, he went on to say. And during tonight's town hall meeting we told you about a moment ago, Sheriff Roundtree said that Deputy Mercer is conscious and is going to be okay.
Tonight, a 26-year-old man is behind bars and facing 10 counts of attempted sexual exploitation of a minor. Investigators say Tyler Green asked someone who he believed to be a minor to send sexually explicit images. Green was arrested Friday. He's being held at the Lexington County Detention Center on a $70,000 bond.
The Georgia grand jury considering potential indictments against former President Trump has been selected now and sworn in. It took about 3 hours to choose that panel. Trump is accused of trying to overturn the presidential election results in Georgia. Fulton County's district attorney launched that investigation back in early 2021. A special grand jury has already issued a report with charging recommendations, and that new grand jury just seated will use that to decide whether the former president should be indicted. That final decision could come sometime next month. Well, after a week off for Independence Day, Augusta committee meetings did not get very in the state of Georgia for the next 10 years. Well, this isn't what you'd expect to be the cause of a house fire, but that's what firefighters in Carroll County found, a snake causing an electrical short. Crews say it got in the house through a hole in the floor under the oven that had wires also coming through it, and there was a short. Hard to believe it. That is the cause of a house fire.
That's a big old snake.
Right there.
I would call that a lung in the electrical wiring.
That's right.
Not a small snake. Okay, with school set to start in just about 2 weeks in Aiken County, tomorrow officials will be inspecting Highland Springs Middle School. What they find in that inspection will be critical for school starting on time, so we'll keep you posted.
A name change is coming for Fort Gordon. October 27 is the official redesignation ceremony for the Cyber Center and Fort Gordon. The post will be named after General Dwight Eisenhower, and the new logo right there has also been approved. You see it there on the right. The ceremony will take place at Barton Field and will also be streamed on the Cyber Center's social media. Tomorrow, the Richmond County School System hosting its walk-in job fair from 9 until noon at the central office on Broad Street. The county is looking for teachers, counselors, custodians, and more. Well, check this out. A 17-year-old Charleston native just publishing her first book. Lucy Metler's children's book, Treasures of the Tide, just released today on Amazon and in bookstores across the country. It follows a child overcoming the loss of his father. Metler was inspired to write the book after the loss of her grandparents and the memories she shared with them.
I think was a really formative experience for me at a young age. And so I kind of wanted to write something that could maybe help children dealing with grief or help parents going through grief explain grief to their children.
Or to reading her book to children. I'm sorry if you can hear me now. Metler says she's looking forward to reading her book to children right there in Charleston.
Mostly dry, seasonably warm, getting a little bit hotter though over the next couple of afternoons. We'll take a look at the heat index and our storm chances in that full forecast next.
And developers in Aiken bring some new attractions to bring in maybe a younger crowd. We'll take a closer look at those plans.
Good medicine.
You know, when you think of Aiken horses, and retirement may come to mind.
But as Jada Walker reports, developers have their eyes on the young people moving in.
Making Aiken County attractive to more generations is what developers are trying to do.
Oh, very excited. Very, very excited.
All of the development on the north side of Aiken, from a revived mall to a new hotel, grocery store, and Olive Garden, is great news for Terry Cade. He works with young people and is excited to see life in the county.
Kids need some entertainment. You know, they need to be able to come outside their doors and do something.
And then the mall back to Aiken would be a really good thing for me.
Entertainment is on the way for teens like Latoya to enjoy. A new pinball arcade announced plans to open on Lawrence Road at the end of the month. And the old bowling alley, Park Avenue Lanes, that closed back in 2013 is reopening.
30 minutes to an hour down the highway, entertainment for the family.
We have things to do on the weekends or places to hang out.
These new attractions will be opening soon, and city leaders are excited for what's to come. Reporting in Aiken, Jada Walker.
So lots of things moving and shaking in Aiken. We'll keep you posted on those opening dates.
To weather now, so give you let's take another look at those winning numbers. Remember, there are multiple ways to win. We'll see you back here this Saturday night. Bye, everybody.
From the station that's on your side, this is News 12, NBC 26 at 11.
The Richmond County Sheriff's Office announcing a new plan to reduce crime and the homelessness population on Washington Road. Seats filled. People brought their concerns last night to that event.
17 businesses have already signed on to give Richmond County deputies permission to come onto their property without a warrant and issue citations if homeless people are causing issues.
There's another side to the coin, and that is what to do about the most vulnerable group in our community and how to help prevent homelessness in the first place. Our Nick Veland spoke with a local organization helping them get the care they need. So, Nick, what did you find out after speaking with Gap Ministries?
Yeah, Lord, Gap Ministry says that the need in the community is at the highest it's ever been, and now they're on the front line serving those who they say are a paycheck away from being homeless.
Nothing is going to eradicate homelessness. I think that that is a misconception. What we can do is help those, get them back on their feet.
Located in downtown Augusta, Gap Ministries helps a lot of people. 20% are homeless. The other 80 are in need, just looking to get help to get back on the right track.
We are constantly trying to evolve to meet the needs of our community. We're called GAP because we legitimately fill the gap between need and plenty.
They have a food pantry and to-go bags available every Thursday. Lines will start forming at 6 a.m., serving more than 100.
What we do is help folks alleviate the stress of those in need so that you never have to think to yourself, am I going to have money to pay the rent or my medicine.
Other services they offer are providing medicine, having nurses on site, and trips to the DMV.
I would hope that for other people who are questioning what's happening and who's actually part of the solution, because here we are.
Now the sheriff's office is going to start picking up the homeless if they're causing issues on private property on Washington Road. Not looking to lock them up, but relying on the community partners to help fill those gaps to get the resources that they need.
So one of the great things about starting this program, it gives a lot of elements of this community opportunity to be a part of the solution.
And Gap Ministries say that those in this area should know it's okay to look for help.
I drive down Washington Road when I head to work every single morning so that more of those folks feel comfortable coming through the door. And I want to change the narrative. Seeking help is a sign of strength.
Stan says what she does isn't possible without the 50 volunteers who are helping serve this community at Gap Ministries. And if you want any more information about the services they provide, we'll have that linked on our website.
Okay, doing truly wonderful work in a time that it is so needed.
To weather now as we check in with First Alert Chief Meteorologist.
Cast coming up in just about 10 minutes.
The calls to 911 shedding a light on a shooting that hospitalized a deputy and left a homeless man dead in downtown Augusta.
I need police. I've had a gun pointed at me. I am a homeless person. I was trying to get off my property. Pulled a gun on me.
Richmond County Deputy Kenneth Mercer still recovering from his injuries 4 days after that shooting on Ellis Street downtown near Farmhouse.
Tonight we're getting a clearer picture of how that deadly shooting unfolded. News Channel's Will Rio takes us through the calls to 911.
On a perfect weekend in the heart of downtown Augusta, it was quiet and business as usual when Richmond County Dispatch received this call at 11:22 Saturday morning.
911, do you need police, fire, or ambulance?
I need police. I've had a gun pointed at me. I am a homeless person. I was trying to get off my property. Pulled a gun on me. He walked up, pulled the gun in my face. I mean, I thought he was going to shoot me.
This all happening behind a business at the corner of Ellis and 12th Street.
Yeah, he's here and he's armed.
Then, less than 45 seconds later.
911, do you need police, fire, or ambulance?
Police, please. I was walking out of my apartment and there's a man at the corner of the street with a gun. He seems out of his mind. He's yelling at me, acting as if I had interacted with him before. I have not. He had a gun. He pointed it at me and said, "I'm not going to shoot you." And he said, "You were talking to him." It's kind of out of his mind things. I'd never seen this man in my life. I don't know what his story is. It's out of his mind.
At this time, dispatch sends deputies to the scene.
Ellis Street and 12th Street. Ellis at 12th. Man with a gun. If I get a description, I'll advise.
Deputies relay that 36-year-old Wrdw Sejour barricaded himself inside a fenced-in area.
Yeah, he's refusing to come out, and he's trying to keep a visual on him, and he's safe hiding.
More than 20 minutes go by before another man calls dispatch.
Yeah, I have a gentleman. I'm in a property that nobody could own. According to my knowledge, nobody own it. And he's literally out here trying to tell me, oh, I don't belong in the property. That's not his property. It's nobody's property.
While the man doesn't identify himself to the dispatcher, deputies later believe this is Sejour on the phone because a drone is able to see the man inside the fenced-in area.
Yeah, but keep putting that. I ain't got cell phone ever next to that firearm.
Sejour claims a man pulled a gun on him.
He can't open the gate. He just literally pulled out a gun on me. Him and his people just pulled out a gun on me.
The dispatcher tells him to talk to the officers who were at his location on Ellis Street.
Call the FBI for me, okay? Or I will call the FBI next, okay? Are we okay on that? Ma'am, I will call the FBI if you don't back up your officers. I will call the FBI and this will be a comfortable situation. 5, 4. I'm gonna go to the FBI.
What is your name?
The dispatcher asks him repeatedly for his name.
Talk to the officers that are out there to assist you, okay?
To assist you? Alright, okay. Alright, thank you.
You're welcome. Goodbye.
That's when this tone went out over the radio.
Dispatch all units, got officer down, Ellis Street and 12th Street, Ellis Street, 12th Street.
First down, dispatch, I need go across first up, 1018. Dispatch, give me every unit you got, we can't see it. We got an officer down, we gotta get to him. Dispatch, advise EMS, he's leading from the neck.
Deputies exchange gunfire and quickly try to take Sejour down to get to Deputy Mercer.
I need him to be down, we gotta get to Mercer. If y'all can take another shot to raise shit down, I want him down.
Deputies eventually confirm Sejour is down and transport Deputy Mercer to AUMC.
705 dispatch, slow all units, suspects down.
All that giving us a better idea of just exactly how things unfolded. And some have been asking how to help Deputy Mercer and his family.
And the Richmond County Sheriff's Office says they're not asking for anything, but if you feel led to drop something off, they will make sure it gets to his family. New at 11, the former head of the drama department at Washington County High School is behind bars after being charged with producing, distributing, and receiving child sexual abuse material. Michael Dindy was a teacher at Washington County High School from August 2020 to January of 2023. And back in January, Dindy was arrested on 2 counts of sexual exploitation of children.
Some homeowners in Richmond County are not very happy after what they say is a frightening jump in their property assessment. Some are reporting assessments rising as high as 48% compared to previous years. If you're one of those seeing a rise, you are not alone.
I would just say concerned and a little pissed. It was kind of like out of the blue, 42% increase in assessment value in 1 year. And 32% increase in our actual tax bill in 1 year.
So the tax assessor's office says you have 45 days from when you get that assessment to file an appeal.
Tonight, the Screven County Sheriff's Office is asking for your help finding this missing teen. Justin Torres was last seen around 8 last night near his home in the Ziegler Loop area near Rocky Ford Road. He was last seen wearing a pink t-shirt, black jogging pants, a camouflage hat, and white Crocs. So if you see Justin, call the Screven County Sheriff's Office. Just weeks after sanitary drains overflowed in South Augusta after heavy rain, Augusta Utilities is reporting another major spill, this time from a wastewater collection plant. They say the overflow happened on Monday, spilling almost 70,000 gallons of wastewater into Butler Creek. They say over 2 inches of rain caused the wastewater collection to exceed the available pumping capacity. So the city is now reviewing the collection system to find any other faults.
Some changes coming to Jenkins County schools when it comes to students and their cell phone. When students enter a classroom, they're going to be putting that phone in a holder near the teacher's desk. If a student refuses to turn the phone over, they'll face consequences for each offense.
Well, we are going to be locked into the dog days this summer. For the foreseeable future. Heat, humidity, and the chance for a few storms over the next couple of days. We'll have that full forecast next.
Plus, a local waste pickup company facing the heat after customers say their trash has been sitting for days. We'll have that when News 12 at 11 continues.
Since I arrived here 3 years ago, I've fallen in love with the area. There really is a lot to do. Some of my favorite places include downtown Augusta. I love the atmosphere on Broad Street. Plus, I'm a dog mom, so you may see me sometime at Pendleton King or Evanstown Center Park with my dog Remy. I love exploring the city so I can enjoy it with my family when they visit, which is often. And of course, I've made lots of friends through work and play. This may not be where I'm from, but this is where I call home.
A little bit next week. So Tuesday, Wednesday, 97 degrees for a high temp, but we are going to have to watch out for those storms most afternoons.
It is a bad season for the next story we're about to tell you about with all this heat. Customers with McCann Waste in Columbia County say their trash cans are overflowing right in front of their homes.
And customers say there's a lack of communication with the company and they don't know where to go from here.
And on top of that, some parents are even raising the question of if this is a health hazard with all the trash out for animals to dig through. Now, McCann Waste is active on Facebook, giving updates to customers, but it's that lack of direct communication raising the biggest stink.
There's no way to get in touch with them.
Hello, you've reached the voicemail box from McCann Waste.
They won't pick up their phone, they won't email back, they won't respond to Facebook messages, nothing.
Nothing but a full mailbox.
The mailbox is full and cannot accept any messages at this time.
And a loaded trash can.
With a family of 7, it's a lot of trash that we accumulate over just a couple of days just from dinners or whatever. It's a lot of trash that we create. It's been 3 weeks as of tomorrow that we've had a trash pickup.
And as trash piles up, so do comments on social media.
We just want a solution. We try to call, email, message.
We tried reaching out too.
Hello. You'd reached the voicemail box from McCann Waste.
We didn't reach anyone by phone, but received this text message saying no one could talk because they are working on the trash problem itself.
They won't tell us when, how, nothing. They're not giving us any information about the whole situation. They're just giving us excuse after excuse on why they can't pick it up.
So that's when we asked how can people directly reach them. They said email, but they cannot send any more due to a sending limit from Gmail. They also said phone calls, but they are getting hundreds a day, so they are not answering calls immediately. McCann Waste also mentioned they are looking into a more permanent solution. We asked what that looked like, and they said they are not willing to disclose this information to the news at this time. Meanwhile, all of this is leaving customers in a stinky situation.
We're gonna have to find another trash service to come out. So on top of what we've already paid for a quarter, we're gonna have to pay someone else to come get it for the quarter.
McCann Waste did say they've contacted other companies seeking help in collecting trash, and as far as that more permanent solution, they did not give us an answer.
That is a frustrating situation for all those customers. Cindy, keep us posted. Let us know what happens out there. By the way, the city of North Augusta changing the way they collected recyclable materials. Starting next month, the city will no longer be using it's all-in-one system where both the trash and the recycling stuff are thrown into one cart. Instead, your current bin will be for trash only, and they'll be dropping off new blue totes for recycling, and they'll pick those totes up every other week. When we come back, find out why a mom and first responders are calling a 6-year-old a hero.
And as we head to break, a live look at Des Moines and a look at your winning lottery numbers.
In South Carolina, first responders and a mom are calling a 6-year-old a hero.
Carolina Brookley tells us his 2-year-old little brother is likely still alive because of him.
I saved them.
The oldest of 3 boys, 6-year-old Atticus Whitlock, watches out for his 2 younger brothers.
Grab my hand.
The older brother instinct kicking in while swimming at his grandparents' house in Anderson.
I saw something on top of the water and I had my goggles on. I didn't know what it was, so I went under as him, Anson.
Finding his younger brother struggling underwater.
I went under, then I grabbed him and pulled him up.
Mom Savannah says she took her eyes off the pool for a split second.
I was here, my dad was here, my husband was here, and he just slipped, and I turned around, and they were talking, and he just slipped right behind them. Nobody even saw him fall into the pool.
When Savannah turned around,
after Atticus came up with him, I jumped in the pool and swam to meet him, and I literally just hugged both of them. And I told Atticus, I was like, I am so proud of you.
They called 911.
They checked him over. He was very pale. When he was completely white. They went ahead and took him to Greenville Memorial, which there was a whole trauma team waiting on him.
Savannah says Anson got to go home later that night. She says it's a miracle his brother knew what to do and saved his life.
The ambulance driver in the fire department asked to speak with Atticus, and they took him aside and they told him, you know, you saved your brother's life. Like that was amazing that you did that and that you knew to do that.
A young hero, and yeah, it does happen really fast when you turn around. The doctor who examined Anson says the little guy did pretty well in that scary situation. He remembered to hold his breath, so he didn't have any water in his lungs.
Nominations for the 75th Annual Emmy Awards announced today, and leading the field with a total of 27 nominations is HBO's Succession. The Last of Us came in second with 24 nods, followed by The White Lotus with 23 nominations, and Apple TV Plus's hit Ted Lasso, 21 nominations. The Emmys will be September 18th at LA's Microsoft Theater.
Well, from Augusta to Charleston to Auburn and back again later in sports.